Welcome to GC Cars. My name is Eric.
And I'm Jesse.
And this is the 2023 INFINITI Q50 Black Opal. There you go. Oh, whoa! And with this being essentially the Q50 Red Sport with a few exterior gimmicks, it's not slow.
What's pushing us back in our seats is a twin turbo V6, 3-liter, producing 400 horsepower with 350 foot-pounds of torque. So it has guts.
It sure does. And we have an all-wheel drive system. Ooh, shitty tires.
Yeah, these Dunlops, I call them Dunflops.
Yeah,
we have
really
lost traction too many times today, and you know it's a fast car, but it's not 700 horsepower.
Yeah, and there again, like it's just
swirly.
Yeah, like as soon as it's rainy a little bit, this car gets squirrely. But I think we're starting off with a question here today, and that is the Q50 Red Sport / Black Opal, which it is right here, a sports car, or is it a Grand Tourer highway cruiser? Obviously for that, we are on our sports car roads to have the fun. It is in manual mode. We are in Sport Plus. I didn't really care for personal because we're going to talk about why I didn't care about it, but let's just have some more fun. One more downshift.
Oh, it goes.
It goes pretty good. Like,
you get some noises.
It's not like the most exciting sounding engine, this VR twin turbo.
And I think there's a reason for that. Wow, that is just... That's dangerous.
Tires, man.
I'm sorry, but that's dangerous.
Like, Nissan / Infiniti has kind of a trend going on with putting the worst tires on cars.
That wasn't a harsh corner. That was a basic corner, and we almost went off-roading.
Yeah, it's like that rear always stepped out. Like, I'm glad it's gradual, unlike in the Z, which just went. But yeah, like these tires aren't great. And that is a little compounded through my steering, my braking, and my acceleration.
Everything.
Everything's just numb. Like, I don't really feel much. I feel a bit of road feedback through the steering, which is some minor vibrations, but I have no idea what my tires are doing at any point. It is just, if my seatbelt would actually, like, let me go, thank you.
Because it knows you're about to go off-roading.
Right? It is all very vague. So in terms of spirited driving, I just cannot really build the confidence in it. On a dry track, this might have some grip. This might be somewhat fun to drive. Out here in mixed conditions, yeah,
sketchy.
A little sketchy, and it's a 400 horsepower car should not be sketchy. I remind you of the 473 horsepower Blackwing.
That thing was awesome.
Rear-wheel drive. And it hooked up better than this. Oh, such a good car. Such a good car.
And we were driving that in wet conditions as well.
We went out in the wet conditions.
Which we always seem to be doing.
And yeah, so I would say this is not a sports car. Like, not a driver's car. Let's call it that. It's not like, you know, you want to push it continuous. Which leaves us still with 400 horsepower, plenty of speed. So I think this is still a pretty decent, you know, highway fun cruiser. Because you still got the power. I think it's pretty good, especially from a stop. Like
from a stop, it's fun. It's fun.
It just goes. Like, it has plenty of grip, even in the rain. I like it a lot when
once you hit 3,500 RPM, you start to really go.
Yeah, once those twin turbos kick in, we can start sending it from out of the power band. So I'm in 5th gear right now.
It takes a bit. There's some lag.
1,400 RPM, so I'm just going to floor it and see what happens.
Like, yeah, look at that. What?
Let's see where the twin turbos kick in. Slowly spooling up.
It's going to be 3,500.
We can't actually, we don't have enough room. But yeah, so you have to be in the power band, but hey, these paddle shifters are fairly responsive. I don't love oh, look at that guy. You are amazing. Oh no, they just pulled over. Well, you're still amazing. I hope you have great days. So these paddle shifters are fairly responsive. For 7-speed automatic, if you don't manually shift it, can be a little hesitant. The shifts aren't the quickest, but it is fairly smooth. And I think with that out of the way, of this being a sports car or not, and with the question being, and the answer being it's not really an engaging car to drive, why don't we talk a bit about what the Black Opal actually gives us? So do you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
It's an appearance package.
Yes.
That's the short form. You're getting black accents up front, you're getting black accents out back, you're getting the carbon fiber whale tail. I guess it's called a whale tail?
I don't think it's called a whale tail, but we all know what you mean.
Yeah.
And we get, of course, the color, Black Opal.
And for some reason, you get chrome door handles, which does not go with the exterior.
Yeah, it's like the only
car.
chrome part. It's like it kind
Doesn't make sense.
It seems like they kind of forgot doing that, but the color itself is really cool. I just wish it would be it's not black. It's actually green. I hope that's visible on camera. It's like very specific angles you need for
in
it to
direct
actually
sunlight. I
be,
think you would see it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but even then, it's never like shiny green. It's always like accents, which is cool.
Yeah.
I just wish a little more green, but hey, personal preference on that. Interior wise,
This thing has not changed in 10 years.
yeah. So this, yeah, that's kind of the elephant in the room. This car's 10 years old. Like, not actually. This is 2023, but like the design with some minor
Some tech,
changes.
some increases, some tech features that you get obviously over the years. This is the exact same infotainment you got 10 years ago.
And it's
The exact.
it's terrible. It's terrible. Like,
I mean, this screen here looks kind of newer.
yeah.
This looks like it. My brother has a 2010 Grand Cherokee. This is the same kind of screen you get.
Yeah, like the upper screen is just terrible.
It's really, really bad.
The infotainment is aged, the gauge cluster is aged, the whole car is very much, like, it does look the part of being about 10 years old, which is a little unfortunate.
You just get the vibe that Infiniti's kind of just hanging onto this car.
Yeah,
They're
like,
just trying to like churn new model years out.
yeah, there's a Infiniti and Nissan have been in a tough spot in recent years, and that's where you kind of notice that these cars just aging and aging and aging, and they're not really replacing them, because I don't think they're in the position to be able to replace this with anything. Overall, the interior is very comfy.
Hey, I appreciate this over. I mean, we do have piano black, but I appreciate this this silver, whatever this is, like a faux aluminum.
Like, all of this is plastic, but it's creative. There's a variety of looks and materials, which I appreciate. The leathers are all pretty nice. It is comfy. The seats, heated, not ventilated, are really comfy. I don't mind this, and once you connect your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay wired, not wireless,
looks better.
It looks a lot better. You don't have anywhere to put your phone.
That's honestly my biggest annoyance. Like, you got this 12 volt here. If they would have removed this and put it somewhere else, you would have a place to put your phone here.
Yeah.
This is for your keys. We have a microphone in here.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to put your phone, and you have. Let's talk about connectivity here. You got one USB-A and one USB-C, and that's
the whole
it.
car.
That's it.
That's
Nothing in the back.
Nothing in the back.
Like, come on, guys.
It is yeah, you do notice where the age really comes in this car, unfortunately. So
I mean, but you have a USB-C, so that's an update.
and they're pointing upwards, so you have to kind of bend your cable when you close it. At least they have like a little pass through. Yeah, it's like, listen, this is, if you like tech, this ain't the car. This is not the car if you're a tech aficionado.
No.
If you would compare this to a C-Class,
Genesis?
3 Series, a Genesis, this is like far behind this. The basics are there. It is comfy. It is quick. But before we talk more about daily driving, how about we get you in the driver's seat and you have some fun?
Let's go.
Excuse me, can you put on some Skrillex dubstep? I feel like it's 2013 again being in here. No, jokes aside. Behind the wheel now, of course, we got to be a little careful. Like we said, kind of sketchy tires.
Yeah, we can't really push like we want to today.
Yeah. But hey, do be how it do be.
We haven't, so we've talked about the interior, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about briefly about tech and connectivity. We can talk about driving tech.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. From what's important in a highway cruiser or just a daily drive cruiser?
I mean, adaptive cruise control.
Adaptive cruise control. Yeah, let's talk about some of that driving tech. So we have adaptive cruise control. We don't have any actual lane centering. Usually in these systems, so some systems are good, so they come to, if you're in a traffic jam, they come to a stop and they automatically start driving again when the car in front of you moves. Most systems come to a stop, and then once the car drives away, you have to you have to hit that button, or you have to you just tap the gas pedal and it'll go. The INFINITI Q50 comes to a stop, then beeps at you once, and then it just starts rolling forward. So it just deactivates completely. So that's really
It's annoying. It makes it
really
pretty much
annoying.
useless.
That's where adaptive cruise control is the best in a traffic jam, and that's where it's kind of useless in this. So
And it's almost dangerous too.
yeah, like I didn't expect it at first. I was like, oh wait, you are rolling away. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer. So I didn't end up using it. Blind spot monitoring, which is
It
like if you don't have it, then.
But it's different than most cars. You got it inside the car actually.
Which I'm fine with. We have emergency braking. The alarm is pretty on edge though. It comes on way too early. But I'd rather have it a little too early than too late. To
Right.
be fair. Let's talk about some suspension.
It actually is pretty good for again, that's why this vehicle is more of a daily driver commuting to and from work with a little bit of sportiness on the side.
I agree. So it is adaptive. So in sport versus normal, it's minorly different. What I find it doesn't do a great job as is like these small imperfections, like that just is inside the cabin completely.
But it's not terrible.
It's not terrible. But any big bump gets absorbed like very well. Like any big bump is extremely well damped. Like if you have speed bumps or something like that, no problem whatsoever. Noise-wise, I think it's okay.
Not the best?
Yeah, on the highway it does get a little noisy.
Here we go.
It's like a power.
I mean, that's fun. Like, it does a lot of things right, but it
doesn't excel at anything specifically. It's kind of like a bundle package where it has a few compromises, but overall, depending on the person you are, I can see you buying that. So why don't we bring it up? Aspect. This is of course the Opal edition.
Opal.
I'm always hesitant to say Opal because I come from Germany and there's the brand Opal, which is spelled completely differently because it's German. So the Opal edition is
the name also over-engineered?
It actually was a GM brand.
Oh.
So $68,290 Canadian at spec, which is the only spec you can get it.
The Opal
fully.
package is how much?
It's about $2.5K
So call
on
it
top
66.
of the Q50, which is honestly like
a bargain.
It's not terrible. Like it's not a terrible price. I think it's a fairly good value. Yeah.
I mean, when you start looking into the competitors, right? Like we talked about the M340i, that's about 78.
That's about 78.
Not fully loaded.
Not fully loaded, but once you spec it up to like, you have adaptive cruise control, you have like similar specs. The M340i will be better driving. It'll be way better tech.
iDrive 8.
Better interior probably. You have a new iDrive. For 10K more, you have, well, not the C43.
Yeah.
What? Stay tuned for that review. That was going to be a good one. Really, the main competitor
Okay.
I see is the Genesis G70. I don't see this one sticking around more than 2 years either, though. Well, I hope.
I hope, yeah. Like, come on, guys.
Like, this could be new. But it costs pretty much the same. It has a little less horsepower, but it's newer engine, newer transmission, so it probably makes up that difference pretty well. It is better tech. The interior is about the same, maybe a little nicer.
I'd say a little nicer.
But it's very close. So the people I see where this would be interesting are the people that, if you don't really want a car you don't need the driver engagement, you just want to have, fun, you want to be able to go fast a little bit from a stop, so this is great. If you don't
want to save money.
You'll save money. You don't care on tech so much, then this is pretty good. Personally, I go either G70 or I go Blackwing. CT4-V Blackwing, 5K more. I have more power. It's only rear-wheel drive, yes.
I'm going to argue that the Blackwing is not necessarily comparable.
I think it's a different target audience, but from a purely personal perspective, I would not pick this.
I wouldn't blame you for that.
But I know you were interested. You were interested in this car for a long time. What is your verdict right now?
Here's the thing, right? If you're looking to buy a car brand new, the depreciation curve on this is absolutely horrendous.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I think that's something that we should talk about, because if you're looking at a 2-year, 3-year-old model of this car, you can get a real bargain. You can get this thing, a Red Sport, for around mid-30s.
Right, so we're talking almost 50% depreciation in like 3-4 years.
So you can save a decent chunk of change and still get the same vehicle.
It didn't change. It did not change. It's literally the same vehicle. It looks the same. The interior is the same.
It sucks for people who bought new, but if you're considering used, I think it's a plus for the Infiniti because you can save money. But if you're solely looking at buying a brand new vehicle,
it is a niche product.
It's a niche product. You're going to lose a lot of value and depreciation.
Yes. Like I don't dislike this.
No.
Honestly, when I picked this up, I was like,
you hated on it a lot.
This is 10 years old. There's stuff, I hate cars that are not engaging to drive. This is not really engaging to drive. Mm-hmm. In a way, the sketchy tires make it a little more fun for me.
Wow.
Because at least something's happening. But this is not a car made for me. I accept that. But I think there's plenty of people that would enjoy this. And if you don't care about tech as much, you just want a car that is fast in a straight line, you can save compared to BMW, you can save compared to some of the other German competitors, and I think that's where this kind of fills a niche that is there.
if you're okay with buying used, I think that's where the sweet spot is for this car. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say that, but like,
sorry, Infiniti, but
that's where I feel the sweet spot is for this vehicle, because you're saving the 20 or 30K over brand new, and you're still getting a pretty fun vehicle.
But let us know. Do you think this is a good value? Do you think, 400 horsepower, still a nice interior, admittedly, with a couple of tech workarounds that you have to do, is okay for 68 grand? Would you step up to the BMW, or do you go Blackwing like I would go?
Or Genesis.
Or
buy used. I mean,
or buy used.
Let us know.
Let us know. And, well, thank you so much for watching.
If you enjoyed it, tune in, because we're releasing a new video every week. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Comment.
And we'll see you in the next one. And send it.
See ya.
Bye-bye. That was a long reaction.